So a lot of new changes have actually just dropped as I'm recording this video. It might be a little later today, but a lot of changes just dropped today, as well as the brand new map, Horizon. We all thought, or at least not from my end, but a lot of people thought that it was going to be a new hero, Hammond. They all thought it was going to be. I never thought it was the case. I honestly sat down with my friends and I said it's going to be another payload-only map, similar to Route 66 in Dorado, or it's going to be a 2CP, since the new maps we've gotten is King of the Hill, Oasis, and then a hybrid, Eichenwald. We haven't really got a new map that's dedicated to just payload or to just 2CP. And payload is already an iteration of hybrid, so I figured 2CP, and we got a 2CP map. It's funny that I actually spoke about a lot of people with that. I actually said it on stream, twitch.tv/NumbNexus plug. But of course, if you guys are enjoying most of what's going on here with the Overwatch stuff, you know, by all means, hit that like button to support. It means a lot. Subscribe as well for more content. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below on just everything that you think is going on here. Your thoughts of all these changes. 3 huge changes here, though. We're going to first start off with the first one being Mccree. Mccree finally actually getting a legendary... What am I talking about? Wait a minute. Mccree actually getting a rework done to his Deadeye. It's about time. I've wanted a Mccree buff for a long time. He's always kind of seemed a little underpowered. And he's a character which a lot of people deem is too hard to learn, since you have to be really, really Taimu level good to be that good with this character in order to get a lot of good results off it. And even he sometimes slaps the Soldier 76. Even with the damage nerf, Soldier's still better in every way and format. Better ult, better movement, better damage, just everything, you know? But it seems like they actually did something to Mccree's Deadeye here, which it now states the targets now begin locking on after 0.2 seconds instead of 0.8, and the damage accumulated over the first 1 second has been increased from 20 to 80 damage per second after the first 1.0 seconds is unchanged. So look at that. The damage has been increased from 20 to 80 for the first 1.0 second for the Deadeye, which is insane. That's holy shit. And now the targets are locked on a lot faster now. I actually got the, the joys to try it out. I can't think right now. I actually got the option though, and the opportunity to try it out. The PTR, I actually streamed it earlier today, and it actually does make a significant change here. Before, a lot of people would just kind of bullshit Mccree, being like, okay, I have Deadeye, but I can swap to Soldier 76, even though I have an ult, because it's shit. And I'm not gonna lie, Mccree's Deadeye is easily one of the poorest ults in the entire game. It's very poor. You're standing still, you're very stiff, you hardly can move, you're glowing, and he's shouting out, high noon, but I'm over here glowing. Hey, if you didn't hear me, I'm glowing over here. Like, it's kind of hard to miss. Oh, and then I mentioned there's a tumbleweed blowing as well, so it's also kind of very hard to miss here. So, free Widow headshot, free soldiers, just clip to the head. Free Genji to flex. Sometimes the Genji's better than him, but if just Mccree's better than him, he'll know when to wait it out. You know, and lately Mccree's have been getting better at waiting it out. But he's also hardly used. Mccree's actually one of the least used characters right now. And it's really unfortunate because the whole thing about Reaper, we're just going to get into Reaper soon, is Reaper is kind of doing his own job here at flanking and busting tanks and dueling, to whereas Mccree, well, his job is basically Soldier's job, and Soldier does it better, and auto-aim, ult, and infinite run. He can heal himself, he heals in case his shots don't really finish off, you know. It's, what does Mccree got? A roll, the stun. His stun is really good. The stun is really good. But now they're actually making steps towards buffing Mccree. This is step 1, baby steps here. They actually buffed the Deadeye here. I'm pretty excited to see where the rest goes. It says developer comments states that Mccree's ultimate can deal a lot of damage if it has a lot of time to build up. This is true. If Mccree gets the opportunity to lock on to a lot of people with his Deadeye, it's a very powerful ult. But he hardly ever gets that since it's charged up too slow. They nerfed it to Oblivion. The characters just nerfed it to Oblivion. It has a lot of time to build up, but it was often too difficult to get even a small amount of damage out before being stopped or killed. These changes make it more flexible and powerful, which I do like. A lot of people also speculated they wanted Deadeye to have a roll within it. He could roll while he's in Deadeye. That'd be kind of cool, but I mean, this is a good step for now. I will definitely take this. Faster Deadeye means Mccree's ult will actually no longer be the fucking dead horse that everybody can just beat. Everybody beats Deadeye into a grave. They're like, oh, you have Deadeye, it's a shit ult. And I'm in Diamond Elo, so people say this all the time, and it's kind of annoying, but what can you do, you know? Next up now, though, my main man, Reaper, and I say this all the time, if Genji and Hanzo did not exist, I would literally be a Reaper main. I don't care, he's my third favorite character, and I'm guessing you obviously can tell what the first two are. My man Reaper, though, finally getting a buff. Again, I'm liking it. He's kind of like Sombra now, whereas each patch goes on, he's getting a buff. And I think it's kind of annoying that people are really undermining his buffs. They say he's still not viable, he still sucks, he's still shit. That's like giving some slack. You know, the first buff where he had the Wraith reload is a pretty good buff. This already helped him, you know, duel a lot better. He's a dueler, alright? I might trigger some of you here, but Roadhog is really the better tank buster than Reaper, because think about it, D.Va does 60-40 well against Reaper, not so much if she has defense matrix up. Roadhog shits all over Reaper if he has to hook up, and you have to think about it. Anytime a Reaper loses to a tank, it's oh if insert here, oh if insert here. Zarya high energy, Roadhog hook, and D.Va defense matrix. But Reaper is a dueler, and with this Wraith buff that they did with the reload, it helps him bait the hook, use up almost all. He can just put an entire clip into the defense matrix now and just Wraith, you know, kind of wait it out, or keep a little bit, wait it out, and go right back into melting her down. He has a lot of options now to defeat whom he beats. He's a dueler, basically, the best dueler in the game now. After this patch, he's the best dueler in the game. I know Mccree's had that for a little bit, and then Roadhog had that for a little bit, but now it's Reaper. It says that the passive, the Reaping, they remove the health orb, so basically when Reaper would kill somebody, there'd be a little soul that he'd eat up and it'd heal him up. Now it's anytime he's shooting into somebody, he's gaining health back, and he regains 20% of all damage done to heroes as health, which is a nice buff. People still undermine this buff. They haven't tried it out. Go try it out. Reaper's usage is going to go from like 5% usage right now, or like 3% usage, to at least like 15% usage. I don't think it's going to skyrocket that much, but you know what I mean. Like 10% usage it could be. He's still niche, but it's going to be a better niche pick. You know what I mean? He's going to be like better now is what I'm trying to say, because all these buffs don't do anything to him but make him worse. They make him better, and these are steps. I feel like they would have to make the Wraith speed a little faster here in order to compensate him from having this amazing getaway, the Wraith, God bless. They would just have to do a little more to him, because fall off damage is incredibly dog shit, but he has a shotgun, so what do you expect, you know? But the developer comments state, Reaper's old healing passive was useful if you could kill a bunch of enemies in a row. But since enemies needed to be dead for it to work, it wasn't very helpful if the situation was already in your favor. Basically meaning that if the enemies weren't low, or if you were good at headshotting, it'd be in your favor and you would get it. Or if the Roadhog is half, he has no hook, or, you know, if the D.Va's matrix is gone, then yeah, you're in total complete favor there. His new passive lets him get immediate benefit from it, especially when fighting tank heroes, which tend to be larger targets that deal lower damage. So, going back to his whole role on killing tanks, not busting, but killing, so he does well against them, but he doesn't shred them. Like how a lot of the community think that he shreds tanks. He does well against them, especially Winston. He absolutely dog shits all over Winston. But, yeah. Some tanks can kind of dig him up, but it's basically like he now gets damage, or he now gets health back as he's dealing damage towards these targets. And since tanks have more HP and they have more health, he's dealing more damage to them, thus gaining more health back, and even works in Death Blossom. I turned it on my stream today. I clipped up a Roadhog down to half. He wasted his hook as I Wraith, and as he was healing, I tossed Death Blossom. It killed Soldier, Pharah, and Lucio around me, and the Roadhog was right back brought up to where he was since he was mid-healing in that, and I shot him up then since his hook was still on cooldown. It actually helps a lot. He gains back so much HP. I even did it today against a Mercy and Bastion combination, though I was kind of bobbing and weaving against the Bastion, so had he have landed his clips into me, I probably would have been shredded, but I was clipping the Bastion up to where I could just get my ult off that, since I was about like 85%. I just dropped Death Blossom, and in that room, it killed the Mercy and the Bastion, as well as the Torbjorn. So, Death Blossom got a lot better. Reaper got a lot better here. Do I still think he needs more? Yes. He still loses to characters that deal range, especially in the meta that we're about to be going into later today. He loses to Pharah. Roadhog, actually, which we're going to get into, does not one-shot him anymore. There's a lot of characters where it doesn't one-shot anymore, which we'll get into here. I might actually make a separate video just who the characters Roadhog can't one-shot, but He does a lot better against those characters, but at the same time too, Roadhog is still gonna be not so much an issue to him anymore. Diva's still gonna be annoying towards him because of the Matrix. She can kind of waste his clip and then go into him then. Pharah is gonna be the queen of this meta. She's gonna be running house, and it's gonna be annoying. Tracer's always been one of the best DPS, so she's gonna give him some problems, as well as Genji. Soldier's usage is still, you know, still there. Soldier's still gonna give him an issue. But if you're good at aiming with Reaper, by that I mean if you toss your clips into the head, I see a lot of people, even in Diamond Elo, for where I'm at, I see a lot of people that just, you know, tear into the body instead of the head, where the head you 2-shot almost every squishy or 1-shot, and you 3-shot every tank. So headshots, my boys, headshots. But now getting into the last change here, probably the most meta affecting change here, Roadhog, who has been a meta staple pick for as long as we can remember since release. He just always has these ups and downs. It's confusing because he has a couple nerfs and a couple buffs within this patch this week. So let's actually drink a little bit of the strawberry lemonade and get into it. So one buff that he got here is his head hitbox size has been reduced by 20%, now making it to where his head is smaller. And that makes sense because his head looks smaller than his entire fat body. So I like that his head is smaller. It always felt like Roadhog was an easy target. For me, as a Hanzo and Genji player, as well as Tracer, it's really easy to clip Roadhog into the head, even from a distance, because his head is pretty big. So by the fact that they reduced it by 20%, makes it to where Roadhog can take hits a little better now. He's more tankier now, you know what I mean? Rather than feel like a giant sponge that just feeds ults if you're a bad Roadhog or a subpar Roadhog. You know, it feels like now Roadhog actually won't feed as much, you know what I mean? Here comes the nerf here. Pretty significant nerf. His scrap gun primary fire actually got reduced. The damage is reduced by 33%. Now that's a lot. That is a lot. I tested it out on squishies. To the head, it's still 1-shots. As well as the right click, still 1-shots. But you have to try it out on actual character. I tried it on bots, which they're squishies, and it's still 1-shots, all of those. Hook combos, still 1-shots, a majority of them. But there's a lot of characters he does not 1-shot anymore, now that the gun has actually been reduced by damage. He doesn't 1-shot Ana anymore. I mean, even before, he still hardly 1-shotted Ana. It was complicated, you know, it wasn't always consistent 1-shot. He's 1-shot Ana, Mercy, Genji, Reaper. Who else? That's just a few that I tried out. He still 1-shots Tracer, but he doesn't 1-shot those characters anymore. There's still a few that I'm missing, but outside of that, he still 1-shots the majority of the cast. I don't know if I've tried Soldier or McCree. I haven't tried those out. I don't think he 1-shots Lucio anymore. I haven't tried Lucio out. Lucio's been a picky one because Lucio's passive healing on to boost him away. He actually could live the hook combo even prior before this. I think the majority of the cast he still 1-shots. But just those are off the top of my head that I could think of that I tried out today. I didn't really try out everybody, but those are the ones that I tried out today that came first. Torbjorn I might have to try. These are small hitboxes. I might have to try Torbjorn, but the nice thing that they compensated to 2 buffs here is really he only got 1 nerf, but that 1 nerf is so significant that it literally ruins his staple combo that 1-shots a majority of the squishies. It does less damage on tanks now, especially since, you know, they're tanky. It's interesting here because before you could just 2 to 3-shot Zarya. I think it may actually be a 3-shot minimum now, actually. 3 to 4-shot, maybe 5. Who knows? I haven't really tried out against tanks, but who really knows? I mean, I have to try out Zarya and Winston. Those are the 2 tanks that Roadhog really just shits all over, since Reinhardt has a lot of armor. Diva as well, still. But the fire rate has also been increased by 30%, so yes, the gun got decreased by damage, but he shoots his gun faster now, both the primary and the right click, which actually helps. I actually tried it out as well over today on my Twitch. You actually, now, it feels like Roadhog isn't really punishable anymore, but at the same time, he does less damage. So the fact that he is punishable, if that makes any sense at all. But it feels like Roadhog really isn't too much punishable anymore. The hook cooldown is still there, but even if you fuck up missing up your hook, his primary fire and his right click, you know, shoots faster. So you actually don't even need to use the hook now to guarantee a kill. You actually can just use your gun. Now I like this a little bit because to me it felt like people just play Roadhog just for the hook combo. A lot of people just pocket Roadhog for the hook combo, whereas I play Roadhog pretty religiously. And I always use the gun to finish off kills. I always have like 45, 50 accuracy on my gun because I would finish off kills with the gun, or I would just strictly just try to kill people with the gun. To whereas some people will just hook, shoot, kill, hook, shoot, kill. If their hook's on cooldown, they would stand from a distance, kind of right click spam a little bit. No Reinhardt shield, they would just do it to get the ult back. And if the hook's on cooldown, they would just drop ult. This is from my experiences from diamond to mid diamond, you know. And it's gonna be fun to see where this goes, to see Roadhog in the meta. A lot of people are already dropping Roadhog since he does not kill a lot of people anymore. This is the most significant drop. To me, from my experience, he still kills a lot of people. Even if he doesn't, it's just one more extra shot, you know what I mean? He brings Ana to about 50 HP with the hook combo, so shoot her, and she's gone. You know what I mean? I'm assuming he brings most of the other squishies to that as well. I've really just religiously been trying that on Ana. So to Ana, he brings her to about 50 HP with the hook combo, so you're just gonna have to shoot again and kill her, you know what I mean? Or you have an ult as well. She's worth a solo ult. She's a high priority pick, so hell yeah. But there's a lot of other characters you just have to you know, put the extra effort into now by killing. And I feel like a lot of people are dropping the character because they don't want to put in that extra effort. They just kind of want to have that staple combo that they got used to. And Roadhog changes a lot every season. It's interesting, you know, whereas Season 3, beginning of it, Roadhog 2.0, probably the strongest Roadhog we've ever had. He could kill Zarya in one shot. It was pretty insane. Like, he killed Winston in one shot, too. He killed D.Va in her mech in one shot with the hook combo. It was insane. Every squishy was dead. It didn't matter whom. Every squishy was dead. That might have been the strongest Roadhog. When they fixed the loopy hook, that may have been the strongest Roadhog we've ever actually seen. He changes a lot to then 2.5 to where he didn't do that anymore. I think that's just the Roadhog we've had. To now this Roadhog. Roadhog 3.0, we're going to call. Because 2.5, that's not really much change from 2.0 to 2.5. Just he didn't kill as much. So, some people may call it 4.0. I'm going to call it 3.0 because 0.5 is there for me. Either one for you guys. But this is developer comments here. Roadhog's head was abnormally large compared to the similarly sized characters, so we're reducing its size to increase its survivability. The Scarab Gun changes reduce the power of his hook combo. So like we were just talking about, it reduced the power of the hook combo and alternate fire. Burst damage potential while still keeping his DS roughly the same. So his DPS is still roughly the same, which it is. I've tried it. Roughly. Keyword roughly. So some characters it's not the same towards anymore. But it just kind of diminishes the hook combo since people still felt like it was too powerful since the one shot's almost a lot of things basically, and they didn't really feel like a character who's this much HP who can heal himself was an ult that shoves them all away, which actually Roadhog has a pretty good ult. People sleep on it. And also can one shot people from afar with that right click. People just felt like Roadhog was just too powerful. So this is what we got. And then some quality of life changes. We got to where, if you actually see on the screen right now, you actually, rather than looking at team chat now, you actually can see your teammates, you know, ranks as well as the opposing teammates' ranks as well, without having to go through the bother of right-clicking view career profile. And as well with the career profiles as well, they've changed it to where it shows all competitive seasons from whom out you've played throughout the entire seasons, all hours totaled up, as well as all hours totaled up from any format you've done within the game, which I do like a lot. It says all. You'll see it on screen right now. It says all, and then it says all competitive seasons in all formats, and it shows you just how much time you've actually put into these characters. And that I never really realized myself that I got almost about 50 hours on Winston and Ana. I never really sit down and think about it. And I got like 100 hours on Genji. It's quite insane. I'm not gonna lie. It's quite insane. As well as one disappointing thing as well is they now have the Oni Genji skin and the Officer D.Va in the regular loot boxes. No event loot boxes, nothing like that, in the regular loot boxes. Now, one thing that does upset me about this is earlier in the year in January, I did 15 games of Heroes of the Storm, which is about 4.5 hours it took me to, and roughly people did it about that much. They did the 3 to 5 hours, around that range, and it takes a long time to get the Genji skin the first time they brought it out. Now, same thing with the D.Va skin. It takes about 10 games, since it does say 5, but they remake you do the Genji event again, even if you already have it on your account, because it made me do it again. So you have to do it again, 5 games for Genji, and then do it again, 5 games for D.Va. So 10 games again, in total 25 games. Long process, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty tedious, because the games are long. And it sucks, because people that worked out hard to achieve these skins, now you could have just waited towards the summer, and now you can get them. Kind of funny though, I'm not gonna lie. Not too upset about that, but it's kind of funny. So we'll have to see where all these changes go, guys. I'll be posting videos periodically throughout the week of my thoughts, characters changing the meta. I'll probably be doing a Reaper video talking about how well he's going to be affecting this meta, because Reaper is slept on. He's really underrated, especially after all these buffs. He is now more viable than ever now. Definitely not the Season 2, the Beyblade meta, but he's pretty almost, he's getting very close to the viable standpoint now. No longer the joke and the beating the dead horse. But if you guys enjoyed, let's have a like, subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think of all these changes down in the comments down below. And with that, guys, I'll catch you guys next time.